We're talking today with Benoit Dugardyn, the set designer for Roberto Devereux, coming up this season at the Dallas Opera. It is a new set design, but a set design that builds on a previous set of an Elizabethan theater that we used in Maria Stuarda, Mary Queen of Scots. And we wanted to talk to you today about the evolution of this set. Tell us, first of all, for those who may not be familiar with the earlier incarnation of Mary Queen of Scots, how the concept of an Elizabethan theater was developed.
Well, we knew that the project was to do 3 operas within basically the same sort of space or the same sort of set with variations. And of course, when you do a play that's about 3 plays that are about the Tudors, and I think at least 2 of them or all 3 of them have Elizabeth I as a character, the first reference you make is to Elizabethan theatre, because it is one of the history of theatre could have gone both ways. The Italian theatre prevailed in the end, but Elizabethan theatre had quite as rich tradition in the 1600s as had Italian theatre. And Elizabethan theatre was a way of making theatre that was much more abstract in a way than the classical theatre as we know, or the Italian theatre as we know it now. So it seemed an obvious idea to use an Elizabethan theatre for 3 plays about Queen Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. Don't let me put words in your mouth, but was it also a means of showing the artifice in Elizabethan politics as well as theatre?
It might have been. I think it was also a good way of, you have the chorus in these 3 pieces, which is sometimes commenting on what happens as a sort of audience, sometimes participating in the action. So it is a very good way to stage the chorus in these 2 different roles, if you want. So that was also one of the reasons to use a theatre as a setting for these 3 operas.
And does the Globe Theatre sort of surround sound, does that also in some ways enhance the sound going out into the auditorium?
I always try to keep in mind the acoustics when I design something. I didn't really set out from the start, okay, I want a circular space because the acoustics are good, but well, as soon as the idea of the theatre came up, of the Globe came up, I knew there would be no problem at all for acoustics, because it would just send the sound back into the audience.
You did an amazing set for La Clemenza di Tito. I saw that production, and it was quite striking and very memorable, and also very architectural.
Yes.
Do you have just a special gift for an architectural sort of
set?
set?
I was trained as an architect. I wasn't trained as a set designer, and it runs in the family because my brother is an architect. My father and my grandfather were architects, so I can't hide my training and the genes that probably run in my family.
It's all making sense to me now. Very good. Well, tell us about how this set for the upcoming production of Roberto Devereux is different than the set originally designed for Maria Stuarda. How has the set evolved?
Well, we changed the way the chorus and the singers come into the set. So there's a few. In Maria Stuarda, if you remember, we had 3 large doorways in the set, where we had drawbridges who were lowered to let the Queen of England or the Queen of Scotland or other people in. Here I think we've tried to make a more intimate space, a space that's more closed, more a closed entity into itself. So we added a central staircase that we can move downstage or upstage to create a smaller or bigger playing space, and 2 side staircases that we also can use to narrow down the playing area. So we're more flexible about the space that's actually used by the singers than we were in Maria Stuarda.
And it seems to also emphasize that more of the action is internal rather than external.
Yes, absolutely. The people is mainly the action is mainly taking place in the characters' heads than in an exterior space.
Tell us about the opening scene, which is something like the Queen Elizabeth Museum.
Well, it's a fantastic overture. You have I think, one of the best versions of the God Save the Queen or the God Save the Queen in the overture. And Stephen's idea is to treat the whole opera as a sort of flashback of Elizabeth onto the story of her own life. So he's staging a sort of mask, an Elizabethan play of what happened in Elizabeth's reign, and then the same characters we see in that mask will come back in the very final scene as a sort of final nightmare of Elizabeth before she abdicates. So there will be a lot of movement, a lot of things happening in those 6-7 minutes of overture, and then the pace of scene changes will slow down a bit.
And people will need to come and see the show for themselves to find out the rest.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Benoit.
A pleasure.